been listening to everybody gripe about how they're tired of Obama and they're tired of all our politicians who aren't doing anything and this, that, and everything else. The politicians are only part of the problem. The real problem are people that elected them. The way our country works is the people in the government are elected by the citizens. We can't say, oh, I didn't elect him. We didn't get the other guy elected. The last time out, there wasn't a lot of choices, honestly. But that doesn't change the fact that the way our country works is the government is elected by the people. So if the government is sick, it's because the people are sick. None of us want to do what it takes to be Americans anymore. None of us. We all want to be this kind of American or that kind of American. There's only one kind of an American. An American is an American. I'm fed up with Al Sharpton and all these people that are trying to rip the country apart with all this racist rhetoric. They're jumping on stuff and blowing stuff completely out of proportion just so that we will hate each other. And you people that are walking on the American flag, I'm fed up with you. My dad went to his grave with scars that he got defending that flag. He did not go into World War II to defend your right to desecrate that flag. He went there so you would have the freedom to defend that flag. None of our servicemen ever died or injured or killed somebody so you would have the right to desecrate the symbol of our freedom. You do not have that right. If you do not like our country, your country, change it. Don't disrespect it. Get a divorce. Move to Canada, Mexico. If you don't want to be an American, if you want to be a Chinese American or an African American or a Mexican American or an Australian American or an English American or whatever, go to the first word. If you want to be Mexican American, go to Mexico. You can be a Mexican down there all you want to. You can't be a Mexican and an American. Mexican is not a race. Mexican's a nationality. Africa is not a race. It's a continent. If you want to be African, go to the African continent. Okay? Newsflash. Not all Africans are black. Not all Europeans are white. Kind of like we are here in America. This racing stuff's got to stop. The media is trying to make us hate each other because the media makes money off of good news. Good news is bad news. Okay? Michael Brown, they blew that completely out of proportion. Michael Brown was a violent criminal person. He wasn't an innocent, unarmed black man. He was a violent criminal. Just a few weeks before he assaulted that police officer, which resulted in his death, he put one of his own kinfolk in the hospital over a backpack. He was a bad guy. He tried to buffalo the wrong guy at the wrong time and it went bad. He didn't have to die. I feel bad for the family. They probably tried to raise him different, but he made the choices. It's like we made the choices not to vote or to put somebody in office. Everybody wants something from this country. The only thing that any of us have coming from this country is what we put into it. I work for a living, so I expect to be able to pay my bills. Okay? I have family that can't work. They used to work. They can't work. I don't mind paying their bills. But it's not my responsibility to pay for everybody's bills because they can't find a job. If you can't find a job that you want because you can't live in your part of the world for less than $65 an hour, you're living in the wrong part of the world. It's that simple. If I made $65 an hour, I'd work about 10 hours a week. I'd call it. I'd go fishing. I don't need that much stuff. We've got to quit letting the Al Sharptons and all the other guys, Louis Farrakhan, dude, make us hate each other. President Obama. Hillary Clinton's going to be worse than he ever thought about. It's not them versus us, because they are us. It's us versus ourselves. We made this mess. If you want it to change, find somebody worth voting for. The president can't do anything, but he's the end of the line. The laws get made by local governments up through the Senate. Elect new local government, elect a new Senate, a new House of Representatives. Problem solved. There's guys that's been in there for 20, 30 years. Or longer. The country's been screwed up at least that long. So, they had a shot at it, they didn't get it right. We need to change it. If we really want the country to be right, we will change it. If we just want to bellyache and gripe about it and we all want to keep getting our check and not paying our taxes, then it's not going to change. The government wants us to hate each other because that's how they make money. The news wants us to hate each other because that's how they make money. If you don't want to make people rich off your own suffering, quit feeding them something to make your money off of. It's crazy. Think about it. The more trouble there is, the more government we need. So who benefits the most from the trouble? The government. So they're going to manufacture the trouble. It's pretty simple. Think about it. They're setting us up so that they can retire with $500,000-$600,000 a year pensions. The president will never stop getting paid. Bill Clinton is still getting paid for being president. Jimmy Carter is still getting paid for being president. Obama will always be paid for being president. Every president that is alive today, that was ever president, that's alive today, is still getting paid. The same thing he did when he was in office. He still got the full CIA people around him. It costs millions and billions of dollars to keep a president. If we're going to pay that much retirement, we ought to have a decent guy in there. Or gal, or whatever. That's our fault if the guy ain't worth it him. Not his. He just ran for the job. I mean, we hired him. Think about it.